Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today we are featuring a really interesting team and Pokemon. After playing with Sun, we were switching it over back to Sand, so we've tried out a bunch of different weathers, so Tyranitar and Excadrill, pretty standard stuff here, but the two things that I really want to highlight on this team are Comfey and Goodra. Comfey is obviously one of the newer Pokemon that have been released through the Isle of Armor, and it has one of the most interesting abilities in the game, giving it priority at +3 for healing moves. So you're able to do a lot of cool stuff, including healing yourself or healing your partners, and of course take advantage of Giga Drain as well. So Comfey here able to actually partner really nicely with Goodra and Tyranitar. You're able to activate Sap Sipper on Goodra as well as the Weakness Policy on Tyranitar. So those two are Pokemon that often want to Dynamax with this team. Ultimately, Comfey is a Pokemon that doesn't see too much usage right now in VGC 2020, but is often paired with Lapras. That's actually, I think, an archetype that you should expect to see a little bit more of going into the future weeks. And it's something I want to try out personally as well, but for now, we're trying out a team with Comfey and Goodra. So this team was built by one of my Twitch subs, who goes by nobodylikestaxes, and yeah, really excited to just give it a try. I think, you know, the rest of the team are relatively standard. I actually love to see the old Citrus Will-O-Wisp Rotom, a very familiar face from back in the day. As you can see, it's a rental team, so feel free to try it out yourselves. I've also included a team report for it in the description below. So thanks once again to Nobody for showing me the team, and yeah, let's just get into it. I think, yeah, Comfey's a Pokemon that I actually pretty much have never played with in VGC before, so I'm very excited to see just how it functions. And like I mentioned, it's often paired with Lapras right now in the metagame, so pairing it with Goodra or Weakness Policy Tyranitar, I think will probably catch some players off guard. Also, this is just one of those Pokemon that, like, players just might not have any idea about, especially because of its ability giving it +3 priority. That allows you to actually go before things like, for example, Fake Out or redirection support from something like Follow Me. And so it's a really interesting mechanic. It's one that I don't think I really would have known unless I played against it or unless I took a look at the Pokemon really in depth. So I wanted to feature this team, one, because it's really cool, and two, because it will, you know, give you guys a better sense of what this Pokemon actually does. Like I mentioned, you should expect to see this often paired with Lapras, especially like Weakness Policy Laprases. You can obviously proc the Weakness Policy as well as heal it. So let's get started with today's episode. As always, if you guys enjoy, please show your support by leaving a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. I took a look through the comments on yesterday's episode, and I definitely will take your considerations or your suggestions into consideration. So thanks everyone that yeah, posted some suggestions, and let's get started. We're up against Colossal. It's been a while since I've seen that, but there's obviously the classic Dragapult and Colossal lead here. So the thing is that, like, Tyranitar Excadrill kind of just dunks on Colossal immediately, right? So for that reason, I don't know if my opponent even wants to lead the Colossal, but I think what I want to do here is probably lead T-Tar Excadrill just to have a pretty good answer against Colossal, and then have Comfey Goodra in the back. That's what I'm leaning towards right now. However, there's actually reason to just outright lead Comfey Goodra. Like, there's no way I think you lead Colossal when you see that I have Tyranitar Excadrill. So basically, Tyranitar Excadrill is the safe lead here, but if I want to take it one step further, I could just go outright with Comfey Goodra and start going for, you know, the main setup. Especially because, let's see, if you want to counter Tyranitar Excadrill, what do? Maybe set up Trick Room with Porygon. Rillaboom can put in a little bit of work. I think the Gastron would actually be really good to disrupt me. So yeah, I'm going to try out Comfey Goodra as a lead immediately with Tyranitar and Excadrill in the back. To be honest, even if you get the Steam Engine going, yeah, I mean, it depends on how the Colossal is trained. Even if you are max speed, though, like, our Excadrill obviously is the focus attack, so we can just, like, retaliate back with the ground type attack. Rotom obviously doesn't feel super great here because my opponent has the Gastrodon, as well as the Rillaboom. That's actually one of the reasons why Rotom has kind of fallen out of, you know, the metagame in the recent weeks in Series 5. Togekiss, like, makes a little bit of sense. It's got, you know, pretty good damage output into the opposing Rillaboom, but, yeah. I'd love to just see what Comfey can do here, and I think he can really thread in immediately from turn 1, and like I mentioned, I think Tyranitar Excadrill is like a pretty safe lead here. I expect my opponent to try to counter that, so I'm going to go one step above and not go Tyranitar Excadrill. It's going to be Togekiss Dragapult. Okay. I guess this isn't great. I don't know. Togekiss Dragapult still loses pretty hard to T-Tar Exca, I feel like. So I'm kind of surprised to see that from my opponent's end. However, I've got Trick Room. So, like, I mean, here, I would think you'd want to, like, max Wormwind. So, like, I want to go for... Ooh, I could Ally Switch. That'd be really cheeky. Could work. If you Ally Switch and end up, like, whiffing a Wormwind into Goodra, You know what's actually really interesting? Switching Goodra out into Tyranitar and ally switching. You might think that's kind of crazy, but the logic behind that is, let's see. Yeah, I actually kind of want to try this out. So ally switch out into T-Tar. So the logic behind this is I think Dragapult is often going to want to Dynamax and just click Max Wormwind into Goodra. For that reason, by ally switching, you whiff the Wormwind and I get Tyranitar in, and if you Dazzling Gleam, you also activate my Weakness Policy. However, yeah, I don't know. I guess my opponent didn't really have a great answer against Tyranitar Excadrill as a lead, so maybe I could have just gone with that, honestly. Probably like not even Dynamax with the Excadrill and just stall out the Dynamax turns from my opponent's end. Ah, Togekiss maxes though. Interesting, okay. That might mean a potential Airstream into Tyranitar. What we can do is Dynamax Tyranitar this next turn and go from there. Didn't really think Togekiss would Dynamax in front of a Goodra, because Goodra with Assault Vest is obviously pretty solid, but makes sense. Okay, so we ally switch. It's going to be... okay. Yeah, it's support Dragapult. Actually, I don't know why I was so gung-ho on the Dragapult being offensive. Yeah, he's going to Airstream, probably into the Comfey slot. Or actually, what I meant was the old Comfey slot, so I thought that was going to Tyranitar, but it actually targets Comfey. That's fine by me, though. My only fear is if Dragapult has Will-O-Wisp here, too. Yeah, because now what I can do is just go for the Giga Drain onto Tyranitar, Dynamax the Tyranitar, and Rockfall into the Togekiss. Sure, seems fine. So in the end, that ally switch actually worked out against us, but I don't really mind it too much, I think. Yeah, the Dragapult actually opted for Light Screen. I would think he goes Reflect this next turn. But the thing is, I'd be okay with that because I would do a lot of damage to Togekiss, get Excadrill in for free, and then just click like an Iron Head, Max Darkness. So yeah. I think T-Tar X would have worked out perfectly fine as a lead here for us. My one fear is Will-O-Wisp from the Dragapult, but I think you're going to have both screens and Surf, and then typically you want like Draco Meteor as your fourth attack. But it was kind of silly for me to think the Dragapult was going to Dynamax and attack turn 1. But yeah, this is the beauty of Comfey. We get that priority Giga Drain off, get that Weakness Policy activated, and heal back a little bit with Comfey, actually, which might allow us to survive in Airstream, actually, which would be really funny. So let's see. Yep, they're just going to go for Reflect. That is more than okay with me, because even if Togekiss Starfalls Tyranitar, that's fine. You would think they might want to Airstream. They actually opt to Starfall, okay. So they were going to activate Weakness Policy anyway. Oh no, they target Comfey. Okay. That is okay with me. So we get crit there, but that's fine. I think we probably would have survived without the crit, but like I mentioned, now I just get Excadrill in for free. So, yeah. We got Tyranitar, we got 3 turns of Dynamax, will be 2 obviously after this turn. I don't think Max Rockfall KOs with Reflect being up, but let's see. I feel like he'll have survive with a little bit of health left. Yeah, unfortunately, just misses out on him. I think a knockout there pretty much would have secured the game up for us, but I still am okay with that. Yeah, especially because that means my opponent doesn't get another speed boost, which is nice. I've got Excadrill in the back, and I think surely my opponent has Goodra in the back. Or sorry, I have Goodra in the back, which can deal with the potential Gastrodon on their end. So here I'm just going to opt for Max Darkness and Iron Head. It's a pretty obvious play, but I don't see any reason to go for anything else. Sure, Togekiss can Max Guard here, but what is Dragapult going to do? At best, maybe break our Focus Sash on the Excadrill. I guess one play I could have considered was protecting Excadrill to bait out the Protect from Togekiss so that I don't take any damage. But I think this is fine at worst. Yeah, even if you break our Sash, like it's not like my opponent has something like Conkeldurr in the back with priority, right? So normally on those Dragapult Colossal teams, you'll see like Dusclops Conkeldurr. That was obviously when Wolfie won with Dragapult Colossal way back a couple months ago. That was like the crux of the core. Yep, so he's going to Max Guard. Like I said, could have predicted that. I don't really mind though. Surf's not really doing anything to us here. Does break our Sash, so it's still a good play. But I didn't want to risk like Tyranitar getting crit there by something like a yeah, what I didn't want to happen was getting crit by like a Starfall, because like right now Tyranitar is just sitting so healthy, and by forcing the Airhead into Excadrill just means we're not at threat of taking any damage from the opposing end right now. And even though my opponent's got screens up, like we're still looking pretty good with one more turn of Dynamax on Tyranitar at +2 against a non-Maxmon. Whatever comes in is going to take obviously a ton of damage. Togekiss Max also ends. I think unfortunately he actually has enough HP to take one more turn of Sand, so we'll probably still have to actually target it down with Excadrill, but it's going to be Porygon 2 coming in, okay, so I don't mind that. I have to consider the late game Trick Room option on my opponent's end, actually. We don't have Max Fighting on the Tyranitar as well, which is a little unfortunate. Okay. Which means Porygon will be able to survive here. Spadef drops really are irrelevant here. Rock Slide should KO Togekiss, so I think we just go for Rock Slide Max Darkness here. It's still going to be pretty difficult for my opponent to actually knock out Tyranitar. And Goodra can deal with like the potential Gastrodon in the back. Maybe my opponent doesn't have Gastrodon as the last one, though. I mean, they had Gastrodon, they had Colossal, and I'm actually forgetting what the... Oh, and Rillaboom was the last one. Which I guess would actually be pretty scary as the last option on my opponent's end. But, yeah, I don't think we could have really done too much that last turn anyway. Really wish we had Max Knuckle here, so you'll notice this Tyranitar is Max Lightning. The reason for that is to set up Terrain to stop Sleep, which makes a lot of sense. So in this particular scenario, probably would have been better to have Max Knuckle, but it's fine. That's still a ton of damage on a Porygon with Max Darkness. Enough where my opponent's going to have to recover next turn if he doesn't want to faint. I think you probably go for Trick Room here. Yeah. But now the question is your last Pokemon able to deal with Tyranitar and Excadrill? Because right now Porygon can't knock out both of my Pokemon. We're also stalling out screens on my opponent's end, which is pretty important. And Goodra with Sap Sipper can actually take... Oh, and it's Gastrodon as the last one. That's exactly what we want to see. With Gastrodon being the last one, Goodra should be able to handle that pretty easily. I think Porygon goes for Recover here, as you probably target down the Tyranitar with Gastrodon. Or even... I mean, I think you really have to Recover with Porygon here. I don't even mind getting a free switch into Goodra. I don't want to Protect here, one, because we have Sandstorm this turn, so we can take advantage of that. Yeah, I think Porygon should be recovering here. So I'm going to just Crunch and High Horsepower double up into the Gastrodon slot. Because I don't want to, like, yeah, he's going to Earth Power. Okay, he's going to target Excadrill, that's fine. Yeah, it's enough to pick up a KO, but that means Tyranitar's not getting targeted. A Crunch should do around, like, 50% to the Gastrodon. Yeah, Porygon recovers. And Porygon's not that much of an offensive threat, so as soon as we KO Gastrodon, we should have this game won. And with the Salt Vest, now I can just bring in Goodra, protect the Tyranitar, knock out Gastrodon. And as soon as screens end, which should be very soon. Yep, so Light Screen's gone, Reflect is gone the next turn. Tyranitar, we can just double up onto Porygon relatively easily. My only fear is now missing my attacks. And a potential, like, they protect Gastrodon here and then double up onto Tyranitar for a KO. Could be pretty scary. We do have Superpower, though, on the Goodra, which is actually pretty helpful against this Porygon. So I'm just going to protect Power Whip here. It's really obvious, but I think we still go for it. My opponent's counterplay to this is either clicking Recover on Gastrodon. Actually, no, Recover wouldn't even save them. I guess they could have the Rindo Berry here. But, yeah. I don't know, I'm pretty content with how I played this overall, other than maybe turn 1. The main thing you can see is just Comfey being able to activate Weakness Policy with priority, which is super nice. Without the priority there, this game would have been a lot tougher. Tyranitar wouldn't have been putting on nearly as much offensive pressure. They actually go with the Protect on Gastrodon, so very nicely done. Good read into that. So I could have doubled up on a Porygon for a win here, but it's fine. Okay. And they correctly target Goodra too, but this still isn't going to do very much damage. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Okay, so Reflect is gone now. Yeah, I mean, my only fear is Tyranitar not being able to take a double up. I'm pretty sure we can eat a double up, but... Let me see. There's 2 turns of Trick Room left. Like, the safest play here might be to just... Actually, yeah, with 2 turns of Trick Room, I think it's always optimal to go for a double Protect with Tyranitar. If we get it, we just win the game because we KO Gastrodon. If we don't get it, like, we can potentially survive the 2 attacks anyway, and then we can just Protect on the last turn of Trick Room. So, yeah. Great Protect on my opponent last turn. Like, the play I made was relatively obvious. Gonna go for the double. Not gonna get it. It's fine. He's gonna opt for Scald, so see if he burns. Yeah, it's not enough for a KO. And the burn. Alright, I mean, that's their best play. Oh my god, dude. Really? Wow, we had this one. That feels bad. I mean, I guess I could have attacked there. Okay, let's not give up, though. We can still win this. The Protect on Tyranitar here is very obvious, but I think I still go for it. And what I do here is actually Protect and Superpower into the Porygon so that we KO Porygon the subsequent turn. I think, yeah, like a connect there would have won us the game. If you don't burn there, I think we're good as well. They needed, I think, us to fail the double protect burn and for us to miss. So the odds of that are obviously astronomically slim. I shouldn't say astronomically slim. It's not that crazy. Chance of getting the double protect is 1/3. So 2/3 chance for us not to get the double. You have the Scald Burn chance. Yeah, I mean, it's still slim, but what can you do? And he's got Yawn on the Gastrodon as the last one. So no recover, most likely. Ice Beam's into Tyranitar. Okay. I mean, theoretically, Goodra should still be able to beat the Gastrodon 1v1. I don't think they can really... Yeah, I don't think you can really do much with Power Whip. Like, Scald Earth Power isn't doing anything to Goodra. So now I can just double up on a Porygon this next turn, and I think we're still okay here. Yeah. Yeah, I think I have to just crunch Superpower into Porygon here. We knock that out. Power Whip, I think, still KOs Gastrodon from the range that it's in. If it's Rindo, whatever. I'm going to fall asleep with Goodra, which is the scary thing. I could have also made the read and Power Whip the Gastrodon this turn, but if Gastrodon protects, I Power Whip into it, and I don't knock out Porygon, we lose the game, because then Trick Room goes up. So I have to, I think, commit the double up onto Porygon here. The double up should pick up the KO. Yeah, okay, so I don't protect with the Gastrodon, but I think we still have to knock out Porygon, because I just don't have a way to KO this otherwise. I could have Rock Slided. Didn't want to risk missing, rather just guarantee the KO. Alright, let's see if Goodra can clutch it out. This is one heck of a first game, that's for sure. But I don't think I really would have changed too much of my play. Like, sure, we could have predicted some key parts. Oh, they actually air-powered the Goodra. Interesting. And we get crit. I guess, yeah, 2 turns of burn KOS. Oh, no, we'll actually hang on. Okay, nice. So I think we should be good here. I think Crunch actually might just KO Gastrodon from this range anyway, but... Yeah, a lot not going in our favor. Failing double protect, getting burnt, missing, and then getting crit as well. But you can see how little damage we're taking from Gastrodon. Like, that was a crit Earth Power, and it still, you know, didn't do very much. So, Crunch by itself might just KO here. They don't even actually opt to protect with the Gastrodon, so let's see. Okay, very nice. That game was a lot closer than it needed to be, though. But once again, you can't fault my opponent. Like, they made exactly the plays they needed to even have a shot, right? Like... Protect was really smart on Gastrodon, Protect on the Max Guard on the Togekiss was smart. I think, like, as you can see, I was fine playing safe because I felt like I was in a far enough lead and had a big enough advantage where I didn't feel bad even if my opponent made the safe plays. The only downside was, yeah, if my opponent gets really lucky and gets all their outs, then these safe plays can maybe become a little bit more punishable, but I still don't think I really would have changed how I played that endgame. It's better to just, yeah, like, play it a little bit safer. Because there weren't too many things that could have gone wrong, and pretty much everything that could have gone wrong went wrong, and we were still able to win, right? Which is a testament to how, because we had an early lead, because the Tyranitar was set up, we were able to really, you know, push the momentum from there. So yeah, I think, I don't know, I don't mind. I like the 2 protects that we whiffed into. Those I really don't regret. Maybe double protecting wasn't necessary because we could have just gone for Crunch, which would have been a lot of damage even with the burn, but. I thought the double made sense, and like, yeah, because like I explained, if we get it, we pretty much just win outright. I guess we'd actually still need to hit the Power Whip, so maybe that turn we could have just gone for Crunch. Going for the double at least also reduces the chances of us losing to like a crit from the Gastrodon. But yeah, you know, Comfey wasn't on the field for very long, but it did the main thing we needed to, which was set up Tyranitar. As you can see, my opponent's team just really didn't have very much for Tyranitar, so getting the Weakness Policy activation, just super, super important. This is a really cool rain team for the next game today, okay? Escavalier is pretty scary here. But given how special my opponent's team is, I really don't mind just Comfey Goodra. I want to bring my all-time favorite, Togekiss, or sorry, Rotom here, but Togekiss here has Heat Wave, which is really important against Escavalier, because like I could just go Comfey Goodra. Actually, let me just double-check Goodra's moveset. We have Fire Punch on this thing, actually, so I don't think I need to be that worried about Escavalier. So, Comfey, Goodra, Tyranitar, the core of this team is definitely coming out. Then it's between Rotom and Togekiss. Rotom's value is being able to burn Escavalier, ignoring Rage Powder. I mean, Togekiss is really good offensively here, so... I don't know, there aren't enough physical attackers to justify bringing Rotom, I think, because, like, the value of this Rotom is really able to, like, being able to spread Will-O-Wisp. I don't really care about the rain component, especially with the Self-Vest Goodra. Like, we can just switch in Tyranitar turn 1, go for Giga Drain. When you start getting Sap Sipper up, And like, yeah, it's physical Goodra with Assault Vest, so it's, you know, got good coverage overall. We have max Flare for the Escavalier specifically. It's Kingdra Amoonguss, okay. Ooh, actually, I think I maybe needed to respect Amoonguss a little bit more. Because they can just... I don't have counterplay to Spore right now. I should have probably led to... I got too comfortable. Yeah, this wasn't great. I guess I'm also not taking that much damage in return, though. Like, I could just go for the Giga Drain still onto Goodra. I don't want to max here in the chance that they Spore Goodra, right? Yeah, so I'm actually just going to Giga Drain Fire Punch Amoonguss, because I'm pretty sure we can take, like, a Dynamax move from Kingdra. They actually switched Kingdra out, maybe into Politoed? Magnezone, okay. Well, Goodra's in a... Oh, wait, you can't even... Yeah, Goodra is fine. I don't know why I was worried about Goodra, yeah, taking a Spore. So, this is the beauty of Sap Sipper. Fire Punch does so much damage there, too. Nice. Oh my goodness, we already got in this to +2. We're gonna get it to +3 now. This is just kind of gross. I think we probably want a Dynamax here. I don't know. I'm thinking even Dynamax Max Knuckle into the Magnezone. Yeah, we could have just maxed Goodra turn 1. Although that actually probably worked out more in our favor if it is like Focus Sash Amoonguss. Yeah, let's just Giga Drain to Goodra again. I guess I don't want to be put to sleep, so might as well play it safe. And go for a Flare onto the Amoonguss. I think that might even KO through the Protect, actually. Alright, I mean, yeah, I think Goodra just 1v6s my opponent's team here. The Kingdra is going to be a late game threat, though, but I have Ally Switch, which I haven't revealed as well, so I think like as soon as Kingdra comes in, we can just Ally Switch Max Wormwind. You also need to really get the rain up. I guess Kingdra still outspeeds Goodra anyway. This is like just a disgusting setup for Goodra, though. Yeah, Amoonguss protects, but whatever. I think this might honestly KO through Protect. Like, this is +3 attack, and it's a max move now. And we need to do around 30%. Okay, it's Flash Cannon into Comfey, which is fine. I mean, this is crazy, right? Because now I can just go for a 4th attack boost. I might not even need to go for that, honestly. Like, it might be better just to break Magnezone sturdy. Let's see if this is enough to KO through Protect. I hope it is, otherwise it would have been better to target the zone. Yeah, it's enough. Nice. So, I wanted to play it safe there, just didn't want Amoonguss sticking around any longer, didn't want it switching in or switching out and letting something come in for free. So, Sap Sipper Goodra, baby. This is the mode that I wanted to feature. This is exactly the setup you want when you play with this team, so it's pretty much a dream come true right now. Kingdra comes back out, that's fine. Let's see. Might just Flash Cannon again. I don't really have great switch-ins to Flash Cannon, but this is where like I can just Ally Switch this turn, right? That's really low risk in my opinion. And just go for a Wormwind onto Kingdra. Like I could see my opponent maxing Kingdra and then maybe max guarding, but Magnezone's not going to beat any of our team, yeah, so it's probably a Poly switch-in right now. Yep. So it's like, even if you max guard, I still have another turn. The only downside is that I will have revealed Ally Switch, but my opponent literally had nothing for Goodra, like Assault Vest Goodra. Life Orb Kingdra does not actually do that much to Assault Vest. They actually don't even max with Kingdra, interesting. Okay, we'll see if it's Draco into Comfey. This is just like one of those rage-inducing games, honestly. My opponent didn't have a matchup against Goodra, to be honest. Especially with Ally Switch. I mean, Ally Switch is like one of those moves, and it's funny because I asked the question of the day the other day, which is like, what's your least favorite thing to play against? A lot of people answered Ally Switch, and truthfully, like that is really one of my least favorite things to play against also, but it works so well on a Pokemon like Comfey because people just don't even know what this Pokemon does to begin with, and then you see like this happen, and that was just like, there's pretty much no reason to not have Ally Switch this last turn, right? Like, it's so low risk that, and we didn't really have a better play to make in that position anyway. So, yeah. Let's actually Overgrowth into Politoed so that we set up the terrain for Floral Healing. I guess I'm probably gonna lose my Comfey here anyway, whatever. But I don't want Overgrowth and just Giga Drain into Magnezone to break it sturdy. Yeah, we can just switch in Tyranitar and then Fire Punch into Magnezone. Like, in the end, my opponent had 4 special attackers, so there was nothing that even threatened or sorry, I was going to say there's nothing that threatened Goodra. Escavalier was, like, the one thing I was a little bit worried about, which is why I brought both Goodra and Togekiss. Like, I needed, I think, at least 2 fire-type attacks. As Escavalier is one of those Pokemon that's just really bulky, can do a lot of damage, and can stick on the field for a long time, especially in rain with the Assault Vest, so, yeah. Alright, it's going to be a Helping Hand coming out, but even a Helping Hand Steel Spike won't really come close to knocking out this Goodra. So we break Magnezone's potential. Or, I mean, it's obviously going to be sturdy, so yeah, I just want to get rid of that. Actually, I was for Max Lightning onto Comfey, okay. That makes sense. Although that means you're denied a defense boost, and I'm actually changing the terrain here anyway with Max Overgrowth. And now I can just bring in Tyranitar and go for Crunch Fire Punch. Actually, the safest approach here is... what is the safest approach? Bring in Tyranitar first. Actually, yeah, I just don't think Magnezone has any way to beat us at this point. I was thinking, I was like worried about the worst case scenario in which you crit my Goodra, but even that I don't think is a problem. And to be honest, although actually Magnezone will heal back to full after the terrain, so I should have thought about that. Yeah, I mean, we could protect with Tyranitar here to potentially eat up a... get our Weakness Policy activated, but I think you have to target the Goodra here anyway. Yeah, because we have Fire Punch, obviously. And with Togekiss with Heat Wave in the back, it should outspeed Magnezone, so I think we're fine. The only, like I said, the worst case is if we get crit by Magnezone onto Goodra, but I don't even think a crit... yeah, actually, because you only have Steel Spike and Lightning, right? Neither of those do much to Goodra, so, you know, they just have to target Tyranitar instead. It is enough for a one-hit KO, but... like, I don't care about Tyranitar at this point. That's actually a crit onto the Tyranitar. I was thinking that we could survive that without, so I was surprised about that KO, but that crit makes sense. But, yeah, this is my problem with Magnezone, actually. Fire Punch doesn't do that much, but it doesn't really matter. Ooh, but he's Weakness Policy. Okay. Oh, I actually maybe should have respected that a little bit. I did not think... I mean, I think we're still fine. I'm just worried about missing Heat Wave now. Like, I think, yeah, the way my opponent wins this is, yeah, critting Tyranitar with the Steel Spike. Maybe the crit didn't matter. I don't know my Max Steel Spike damage calcs from X-Control very well. Or, sorry, from Magnezone very well. Because, like, I think Fire Punch Heat Wave here should still pick up the KO. I'm just worried now if we miss Heat Wave, but I don't think there's a better play for us to make. But Heat Wave connects, fortunately. Okay, yeah, that should be game then. Nice. As we actually crit the Heat Wave, but obviously we are... Crit Kiss. We get the burn there as well, but it doesn't really matter. Steel Spike ends up going into Goodra, but yeah, okay. It was never really doing very much there. So we were fine anyway. Like, obviously, crit burn doesn't matter here this turn because Fire Punch was KOing the Magnezone anyway. But it ended up being closer than I expected, and I actually have to really give my opponent props for not Dynamaxing their Kingdra, because I think if they Dynamaxed the Kingdra, the game would have just been instantly over on the ally switch turn, because we would have just gotten the one-hit KO anyway. But, I mean... this was just a very clear example of how good Goodra can be, man. Like, yeah, it was pretty much the sole carry of this game. Or I want to say sole carry, right? Comfey it was very important that we had Comfey to enable it. But my opponent had nothing against Comfey Goodra. Like, there was pretty much no way around it, honestly. Because, like, you can't redirect our Giga Drains away, so we get all the boosts onto Goodra. There's no effective way to really deal with Goodra. I think that first game actually highlights one of the ways you can deal with Goodra, which is Togekiss, right? We don't do very much to Togekiss. Togekiss can, like, even though we're Assault Vest, like, its crit Starfall still aren't very fun to take. So, yeah. If anything, though, I'm very glad because this team was originally built around Comfey, Tyranitar, and Goodra. If I remember the creators' report correctly, that was, like, the 3, you know, core members of the team. And I think the last 2 games pretty much highlight perfectly how good they can be. So, yeah. Both games, you know, a little bit scarier, mainly because some RNG, but that RNG ended up being irrelevant. And I think this is actually a really good time to point out that, you know, a lot of people think, oh, Pokemon obviously has a fair amount of, you know, luck and variance to it, but what we were able to do in those last 2 games was basically enable us and put ourselves into a position where even if the worst case scenario happened, which was either getting crit, you know, getting burnt, missing air attacks, you know, which is what happened in both the first and this last game, even with all of that happening, we were still fine. So that's why it's really important in Pokemon to constantly look for these positions where you can basically mitigate the luck so that it doesn't even really end up mattering at all, even if you get unlucky. If you can get so far ahead, then late game, basically the amount of things that your opponent needs to go right just becomes higher and higher and they get stacked up. Alright, Third game of the day. This feels like another Comfey game, to be honest, and the reason for that is because we have Max Overgrowth and Max Flare, which is, 4x effective against a lot of my opponent's Pokemon. So, let's go Comfey Goodra, Tyranitar. Tyranitar mainly for weather control here. I just love Goodra being, like, with Sap Sipper basically protecting us from Sleep Powder and Spore. Like, that's so nice, and it's something I kind of brain farted on in that last game. Scavalier, again, makes me want to bring the Togekiss. Comfey can reverse Trick Room, which is something that's really fun about it. Ally switches can be cheeky. I don't know. Like, I kind of want to bring Rotom here, because I can Will-O-Wisp into the 2 physical attackers. I don't think we bring Excadrill. It's between Togekiss and Rotom. I think the Rotom alone makes you want to bring the like, this is why I love how the team is constructed, right? With the Rotom, like, people want to bring Gastrodons, and then Goodra just completely dunks on that. Yeah, let's go with Rotom. Rotom can actually do pretty well offensively against T-Tar, against Rhyperior and Torkoal, and we could burn with Will-O-Wisp into the main sweepers on that team as well. So, this game might be a little bit harder for Comfey and Goodra, mainly because, like, a Dusclops lead could be scary. Dusclopses sometimes carry Will-O-Wisp or Haze as well. Both of those would make our life a little bit harder. It's going to be Dusclops Gastrodon. I don't mind that too much. What I do mind is what Gastro goes for turn 1. Okay. And whether you're... what item you are on the Gastrodon. I mean, Giga Draining into Goodra is pretty safe here, right? Like, that's always fine. I might even want to go out and... Like, the thing is, if I KO Gastrodon, my life becomes a little easier. I might also just Trick Room turn 1, like, expecting them to reverse their Trick Room, basically. And just Power Whip into Gastrodon. Because I don't want to commit the Dynamax yet. Okay, nice. Oh, they're not Rindo. Is this a one-hit KO? That would be beautiful. Alright, that's exactly what I was hoping for. Show me Trick Room from Dusclops now. Ah, very nice. Very, very nice. Alright, that's one way to start the game, guys. Nice. Okay. So, the explanation behind that turn is, what I didn't want to do was Dynamax with Goodra, because the Power Whip should KO the Gastrodon anyway if it's not Rindo Berry. Maxing there doesn't really get me very much mileage, and if the Gastrodon protects, I essentially waste the turn to max, right? Well, the Scavalier comes out, but this is more than okay with me, especially if they're not expecting the Flare, because I think here I'm actually just going to go for the Giga Drain onto the Goodra max, and then just Flare into a Scavalier. Yeah, I don't know, if you're bringing a Scavalier here, I'm not sure you anticipate the max Flare, although I revealed that I'm physical. The best case scenario here is a Scavalier Dynamaxes, tries to attack, Dusclops like doesn't even go for Trick Room, fearing us reversing Trick Room, and then they just waste their max. That would be the very ideal scenario. Yeah, my one fear in this matchup was that I don't, like, Comfey Goodra don't do much damage to the Dusclops. Oh, they're Dynamaxing a Scavalier. This is just pure Goodra madness. You have to max guard here to even have a shot at this point, I think. If you're not max guarding, +1 max flare should just dunk on this. Maybe it has Hazaka Berry. Normally with the Scavalier, I'd expect something like Life Orb and Assault Vest. But this is just sick. They might ally switch too, I guess. Okay, Goodra gets that initial attack boost. Oh my god. Goodbye. It's funny because when I started this third game, I was like, oh, we might go over like 40 minutes today for an episode, but it's still not over, right? Like, Dusclops maybe clicks Trick Room here, my opponent brings in Rhyperior, and then you can go for Bulldoze stuff. Yeah, they're going to Trick Room at least. But, I mean, I would say so far it's almost been a perfect game. We haven't taken any damage. We have two more turns of Dynamax. Sun is up. We have +1 attack on Goodra. If it's not Rhyperior, it's my opponent's last one. Oh, it's not. Yeah, they can't beat the Goodra at this point. There's no way. Okay, so... Yeah, I mean, Tyranitar Rotom alone wins this. Let's actually just give Goodra another boost. Just Giga Drain that, sacrifice the Comfey, and go for a Wormwind onto Torkoal. Because Tyranitar obviously beats the Dusclops at this point. Yeah, my opponent just forfeits. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what Comfey and Goodra can do. Unfortunately, I didn't get to really utilize it so much in that first game. That's mainly because I thought, like, my opponent's lead was very anti-Goodra, given that they had two Pokemon that threatened us with super effective damage. Sure, we could maybe take a Max Wormwind from the Dragapult, or a max move from the Togekiss, but in my eyes, I was like, I think it's better just to Dynamax the Tyranitar here. I mean, Comfey was insane for us in today's episode, though, right? It enabled Tyranitar and Goodra, which are the two main sweepers, and both of those were just absolutely incredible for us here and put on so much pressure against our opponents. So that was pretty much the dream scenario and dream first episode for this team. And yeah, I mean, that last game, the way my opponent gets around how I played that is basically going for protects or switches. I think this is the value of physical Goodra as well. A lot of people just don't anticipate it having Power Whip and, you know, Fire Punch. Instead, you expect, like, special dragon type attacks like Draco Meteor or Dragon Pulse. You probably expect like Flamethrower, right? I mean, yeah, the fire type attack I think you should always expect because like Flamethrower is run on special sets as well. But you expect like Sludge Bomb, Thunderbolt. So instead, by having Power Whip and like Fire Punch, you can catch opponents completely off guard. That Max War Wound also stronger because, as you saw, Goodra opts for Outrage as the base attack rather than, say, something like a Dragon Claw. So, yeah, I mean, this is just what this mode can do, especially if you're able to call those turns correctly. Once again, really important to consider when to Dynamax in that last game. As you'll notice, I did not Dynamax Goodra turn 1, and I personally really like to Dynamax if I think I'm in major threat of taking a lot of damage to that turn. Goodra is never really taking very much from Gastrodon or Dusclops, and Dynamaxing, always ask yourself, what am I getting from that one turn? Does it secure a knockout that I wouldn't get otherwise? Is it giving me a residual effect that I really need at this state in the game? Is it giving me bulk that I need to basically stick around a little bit longer? The answer was no pretty much to all of those questions in that first turn, which is why I just went for the Power Whip. So Gastrodon not going for Protect was beautiful. Even if it protected, though, we reversed the Trick Room successfully, so not much our opponent could have really done. So that is definitely the... yeah, it's a very fun episode to have to be able to feature Comfey, what it can do. And yeah, Tyranitar, Goodra, really good partners with it. Like I mentioned, you often see Lapras paired with it, but I think this episode should highlight what other partners work really, really well with this Pokemon. So glad we were able to feature it a lot. And in the end, we actually didn't even heal ourselves, or yeah, heal our partner Pokemon with Comfey. We only used the other attacks, which was activating the Weakness Policy or getting stat boosts through Sap Sipper, reversing Trick Room, and then Ally Switch, which, as you saw, was pretty valuable as well. But maybe we'll get some healing with it tomorrow. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. Thank you to Nobody once again for showing me this team. Once again, feel free to try it out yourself. Code and the rental team is linked in the description below, as well as the report created by the creator. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. All right, peace.